Hello everyone, in today's video we shall learn how to do the scattered overlay text effect in Notion. It's really super cool and really simple to do. So let's get started. So to start off, I'm going to type down the equation and we shall test it out together to see if we made any mistakes or not, and we shall correct them if we did any mistakes. For the first function that we're going to be using is a substack. As always, when you see one line or one word which is layered on top of the other, there's no other function other than substack that you have to use. So we are going to go ahead and use substack to stack one line over the other. So for the substack function, obviously you need to have an open curly bracket inside which everything comes in, like the color, the size of the word, and the font, and the spacing, manual spacing, where you want your line to start, all the M value and everything comes into substack. So now we want to type in color, and I'm going to give it lavender. I'm going to stick to the same colors, but you can give any color of your choice that you're looking for to achieve the aesthetics for your blog and all that. So go ahead and do that. So I'm done with the color choice. So the next thing that I would obviously want to figure out is the size. If I want to go ahead and put in large or huge or small or the normal size, but now I want to put in huge. So we can go ahead and do that. So we have the color, we have the size. The only thing that is left is the type of font that we like. So you can put in either serif font or sans serif fonts, or the matte fonts, whether it's matte BB or matte SRC or matte FRAK, matte Frick, that kind of a font, which is really ancient kind of a font. So yeah, but now I'm going to go ahead and put in matte BB to get this really stencil kind of effect. So after you're done figuring out which kind of a font you're looking for, this is where you go ahead and put in your word. I'm going to go ahead and put in hello and close the bracket. So your first line is almost done, but we have to go to the second line. First, going to the second line, you have to put in 2 backslashes. So this helps you go to the second line. So now we are in the second line, and from the example that's there, we can see that the blue hair is slightly towards the right and it's slightly lifted. So we have to put in an M value so much so that it moves towards the right and it's slightly lifted so that it gives the scattered overlay effect. So I'm going to go ahead and open a bracket and give it a value of 2.2 M value. And the M value is really nice because you can play around with it. You can add, subtract, remove the minus sign or put in a minus sign. It's really up to you to figure out what kind of a look you're going for. So since that is done, so the only thing that is left to do for the second line is the color, the size, and the type of font that we are looking for, right? So we are going to go ahead and put in the color. It's super easy. You can give any color of your choice. And I'm going to go ahead and put in light blue. Okay, I made a mistake by putting 2 brackets. Let's go ahead and remove that as well. So now we have a color sorted out. Next thing is obviously the size. So we have to stick to the same size, otherwise it's not going to look cohesive, right? So I'm going to go ahead and stick to huge itself, and I'm going to go ahead and stick with the same font as well. And now is where you get to do your manual spacing. So as you know, with 1 backslash is like 1 space. So we want to move the hey or the hello or the particular word towards the right or towards the left. If you want to move the word towards the left, you have to add manual spacing on the right side of the word. And in case you want to move the word towards the left, you have to add manual spacing towards the right. That makes sense, right? So let me show you. So since we just added 1 backslash, give it a manual space of 4. so that there's like 4 units which helps the hello to move towards the right, as you can see from the example. So give it one space that we already gave, about one backslash right there. Hit the space bar to give it space, and then repeat this 4 times. Like the entire thing should be like 4. Now after this is where you put in your word. So it's like manually spaced out, and the word itself is going towards the right side. So once that is done, go ahead and close the bracket, and we have to go towards the next line. For that, again 2 backslashes, and it's going to the second line. So now we have to repeat the same thing, but with the less number of backslashes and the less number of M value, because we want it to move again towards the left side, but you want it to minus in some values. So to do that, open a bracket, minus 1.2 M, and close the bracket, and the color of your choice. I'm going to go ahead and put in salmon, and the size huge, and the slash math bb. And now is where you go ahead and put in the manual spacing again. So I'm going to go ahead and put in 2, so that it's like not too far, and it's like slightly far away. So yeah, go ahead and close the bracket. So we are almost towards the end of the equation. The only thing that is left to do is to check for any open brackets, and let's go ahead and do that. So let's trace back. That is closed, the color is closed, closed. This also is paired really well. This also is closed. So the only bracket that's left is the substack, so let's go ahead and close that as well. Alright, so we are done with the equation, so let's go ahead and type out a word. I'm going to go use a word, and if you know the equation by heart, you can go ahead, type the word, highlight it, create an equation out of it. So I'm going to go ahead, hit done. Okay, we ran into a bit of problem again. So whenever this happens, it has to do with space. So whenever you see this kind of an error, you go ahead and click on it and go right before the square bracket and hit backspace. There we go, it's almost done. Go ahead and do the same for the second M value, backspace. Alright, hit done. And we are done. I'm going ahead and turning this into 2. So this is looking a little bit off. So let's try and replace the words itself, so that you know, to make sure if we have done any mistake at all. So I'm replacing the LLO with Y, and let's see, Y. Hit done. I'm going to make this slightly bigger. Y. Okay, so basically we haven't done any mistake at all. The equation works just fine, as you can see from the example and the one that we executed just now. So I think it really depends on the word that you choose, and yeah. So this is how you do a scattered overlay text effect in Notion. I hope you learned something from this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.